Hello friends, and welcome back to my channel. Today, I'm going to show you how to do a granny circle. So this is a take on the granny square, but it is worked in the round. So if you need to get a granny square style shape, but in a circular form, this is the video for you. For this project, you're going to need some yarn. I'm going to be using this variegated purple and yellow Bernat Handicrafter cotton. It is about a number 4 weight yarn. You'll also need a crochet hook. I'm going to be using a 6mm hook today. You'll also need some scissors, as well as a yarn needle to weave in your ends. So gather your supplies and let's jump in. First things first, I'm going to do a slip stitch. From here, I'm going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. From here, I'm going to slip stitch into the first chain. So the 4th chain from the hook, the first chain we made, I'm going to insert the hook, yarn over, and pull through both loops to create a little round. And that is the center of our granny circle. From here, we're going to move into round number 1 with a chain of 2. Chain 1, chain 2. Then into the center of that round, we're going to put a half double crochet. Yarn over, insert the hook into the center of the round, yarn over again and pull up a loop, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over again and pull through all 3 for 1 half double crochet. Then we're going to chain 1. After the chain 1, we're going to be doing a new variation here. We're going to be doing a half double crochet 2 together. So yarn over, insert the hook into the center of that donut, yarn over and pull up a loop, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through 2 of the loops. Then we're going to yarn over again, insert back into the center of the stitch, center of the donut, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, and we're going to pull through all 4 loops on the hook. And that is half double crochet 2 together. I'm going to show you how to do it again. First though, we're going to do a chain of 1. Now we're going to do another set of half double crochet 2 together. So yarn over, insert into the center of the donut, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, insert into the center, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 4 loops for half double crochet 2 together. And then we'll chain 1 again, and then I'm going to do that exact repeat again. Yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 4. And now I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 repeats of this. We've got to have 8 total, so 7 where we're doing a repeat of this half double crochet 2 together, and then the initial chain 2 will be our 8th one. So I'm going to continue around with these half double crochet 2 togethers until I've done the repeat 7 times with a chain 1 in between each of those half double crochet 2 togethers. So here's what it looks like after a few more repeats. So we have the chain 2 we started with, and then we did a half double crochet, and then we did a chain 1. So that's representing 1 repeat of the half double crochet 2 together. But there's 1 here, and then we have our first set of 2 half double crochets, our second set, our third set, 4, 5, and 6. We need 1 more repeat. We need 7 repeats with the 8th being this guy here. So let me do my last one here. Yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 4. Just like that. And then we're going to chain 1 to finish the round. From here, at the top of the chain 2 we started the round with, I'm going to slip stitch the round together. So I'm going to insert into the top of that chain 2, yarn over, and pull through both loops on the hook to close up round number 1. We're going to start round number 2 with a chain of 3. 1, 2, and 3. And then we're going to turn that round over. We're going to be working into the chain 1 spaces for this next round. So the chain 1 spaces are the large spaces between your sets of stitches. So in that first chain 1 space, right at the base of the chain 3 we did, we're going to put a double crochet. Let me show you a double crochet. Yarn over, insert the hook into the stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2 for a double crochet. From here, we're going to do a chain of 2. 1 and 2. Then in the next chain 1 space, which will be after a set of 2 half double crochets, there's a chain 1 space here. In that spot, we're gonna put 2 double crochets. Yarn over, insert into the space, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And a second one. And we're gonna follow that with a chain of 2. 1 and 2. Then in the next chain 1 space, so it'll be another set of 2 half double crochets. In the next chain 1 space, we're gonna put 2 double crochets. There's 1 and there's 2, followed by a chain of 2. And we're gonna repeat that all the way around for the rest of the round. In every chain 1 space, we'll put 2 double crochets, and then we'll follow that with a chain of 2. I'm gonna zip through the rest of the round, and I'll meet you at the end of the round to show you what we're gonna do next. Here I am at the end of round number 2. I'm doing my last chain of 2, and now you can see a little bit more clearly that granny square energy by having the 2 double crochets separated by the chain of 2. Now I'm going to slip stitch the round together at the top of the chain 3 that I started the round with. And to begin round number 3, I'm going to start with a chain of 3. 1, 2, and 3. And I'm going to turn the work. Now in this chain 2 space, we're going to do 1 double crochet. There's 1 double crochet, then a chain of 1, and then 2 more double crochets, all in the same space, all in that chain 2 space from the previous round. Just like that. So our double crochet, our chain 3 at the beginning of the round will count as 1 double crochet, and in this 1 chain 2 space, it looks as though we have 2 double crochet, chain 1, 2 double crochet. But for the first stitch of the round, there's always that chain that brings us up. So anyway, that's what the repeat is going to be. So let's move on to the next stitch. Next, we're going to do a chain of 1. Now, working into the next chain 2 space, we're going to do 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets. So there's my first and second double crochet, then I'll chain 1, then I'll put 2 more double crochets into the same chain 2 space from the previous round. There's 1, and here is number 2. Now you can see how that chain 3 at the beginning is making it just the same as this guy, because this one is 2 double crochet, chain 1, 2 double crochet, but the first in the row was 1 chain 1, 2 because of the chain. I just want that to be clear. All right. Now, next, chain 1, and we're going to go to the next chain 2 space from the previous round. In that spot, we're going to put 2 double crochets. There's 1, there's 2, and then a chain of 1, and then 2 more double crochets, followed by another chain of 1. And I'm going to repeat that all the way around for this third round, and I'll meet you at the end of the round to show you what we're going to do next. Here I am just about at the end of round number 3, and I'm going to put in my last double crochet and then a chain of 1, and I'm going to join at the top of the chain 3 that we started the round with a slip stitch. Yarn over and pull through both stitches, and you can really see now that circle has the energy of a granny square. I think this is such a cute shape to crochet. This would be such a cute pocket on like a sweater, just like stitching. You could even like fold down the top part and then stitch it on a sweater. That would be so cute. All right, let's move in to round number 4. We're going to start round 4 with a chain of 3. 1, 2, and 3. And then we're going to turn the work over. We're going to be working into the chain 1 spaces again, all of these chain 1 spaces between each of the sets of double crochets. So first, we're going to put 2 double crochets into the space that the chain 3 came out of. So yarn over, insert into the space, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. I'll do that 2 times, and that makes up 3 double crochets because we did 2 double crochets and the chain 3 we started the round with equals 1 double crochet, so there's a set of 3 in that space. And then we'll do a chain 1, and then in the next chain 1 space we'll put 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3, and then a chain of 1, and then in the next chain 1 space 3 double crochets. There's 1, there's 2, and there's 3. And after that, another chain 1, And we're just going to repeat that all the way around for round number 4. 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets, chain 1, and we're always doing our double crochets in the chain 1 spaces from the previous row. I'm going to zoom through the rest of round number 4 and I will show you what it's looking like when I get to the end. All right, here I am at the end of round number 4 and this is awesome. It's kind of a hexagon. If you were to pull out all the stitches and sort of flex it down so that it's flat, like a little softer, it's definitely a beautiful circle. So this would work really well for a circle applique or something that you need granny square energy in a circle shape. So I'm just going to join the last round here. First I'll do a chain, my last double crochet. There we go. And then I'll do a chain 1, and then at the top of the chain 3 that we started this round with, I'm going to slip stitch the round together. Now for round number 5, we're going to start with a chain of 1 and then we'll turn the circle over. From here, I'm going to do a single crochet in each stitch all the way around. So the first stitch here will be the chain 1 that we finished the round with. So I'm going to insert into that chain 1 space and do a single crochet. Then into the first double crochet stitch here, another single crochet. And I'm going to single crochet 1 time in each stitch. So there's 3 double crochets. I did a single crochet into each of those. Then there's a chain 1 in between. I'll do a single crochet there. And I'll just repeat that all the way around. Single crochet 1 time in each stitch all the way around. And this is going to soften the corners of that hexagon so that it looks a little bit more round and a little bit more like a nice crocheted granny circle. So I'm going to zoom through the rest of these single crochets and I'll see you at the end of round number 5. Okay, so I thought it was so cute that I made 2 of them. I made a second one, but I'm going to show you how I'm finishing it off. I've finished my single crochet round, and I'm going to just join it at the chain 1 we started the round with. I'm going to pull my stitch through to close the round, and look at how cute of a circle that is. So I know this tutorial was just for the circle, but I think I want to make something like a little purse or something maybe. I don't know, it's just so cute. So I made 2 of them and I'm going to stitch them together. The way I'm going to do that is, well, first I'm going to close up my second round, pull that stitch through. I'm going to line up the 2 circles. I'm going to do wrong sides together, or right sides together rather. So the front of the work, I'm deciding that to be when the single crochet is facing up. That's my front. So then this would be the back. Front, the single crochets are facing me. Back, they're facing the other way. So I'm going to put right sides together. The front will be touching the front. So now it's looking at the back. And I'm going to pick up my first stitch here where the last stitch kind of comes out of the first circle. So let me zoom you in to explain this a little more. All right, so I stitch markered where I want to finish my round. We're starting the round here, stitching the 2 pieces together with a single crochet until we get to the second stitch marker. So like I said, to do that, I am going to pull that last stitch, just get that tail out of the way. And then I'm going to pick up the stitch that corresponds with the working last stitch on the back piece. So in a group of 3, it's the farthest over. So right here, in the group of 3, the farthest over. So this is where I'm going to be connecting right here to the farthest double crochet, or farthest single crochet in this first group of 3. So I'm going to yarn over with my working loop here and pull it through that first stitch on the front piece. Then I'll chain 1, then into that same stitch, I'm going to do a single crochet. So I'm going to put the hook back through both stitches where I just came out of that with the chain 1, and then I'll do yarn over, pull through a loop, yarn over, pull through both loops on the hook. And now I'm just going to single crochet around, but I'm crocheting through the front and back piece of fabric with a nice snug single crochet into the next one, single crochet into the next one, single crochet. And I'm going to repeat that all the way until I get to my next stitch marker. And I'll meet you there to show you what we're going to do next for this spur of the moment little bag that we're gonna make. Here is what it looks like when I get up to my stitch marker. I took the stitch marker out, and now what I'm gonna do, this seems big enough to get my hand in, is I'm going to crochet around this unfinished top of the circle. So I'm going to start here where I joined my last single crochet, and I'm going to split the work open so that this is now a seam and we're working across this way. We're still going to work in single crochets. I'm just going to put one single crochet in each stitch until I get to where I join on the other side. I'm gonna zoom across to the next side seam, and I'll show you what we'll do at that spot. All right, here I am at the next side seam where we started bringing the round together, and I have a stitch here left, and then this stitch is actually part of the seam. On the other side, this stitch is part of the seam, so we're not going to work those normally. We're going to crochet them into one. So we're going to do single crochet 2 together for these 2 stitches. But first, we have one more single crochet to do normally, and now into these side seam. First one, we'll insert the hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, into the next stitch, insert the hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through all 3. That's a single crochet 2 together, and that's just going to keep that side seam tight there. And now for the rest of the round, I'm going to single crochet 1 time in each stitch around, and we're going to do the same single crochet 2 together for the last stitch of the round where we started working in the round. All right, so here I am. This last stitch is actually part of the side seam. So I'm going to insert the hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, and then I'll go to the other side where that side seam ends right here. I will insert into that single crochet. It's going to be a little finicky because it's the first. There we go. Yarn over, pull up a loop, 3 loops on the hook again, yarn over, pull through all 3, and that finishes our round. Now I'll join the round with a slip stitch, chain 1, single crochet at the base of the chain 1, and then single crochet around again. This time there won't be any single crochets 2 together, just 1 single crochet in each stitch all the way around. I'll meet you at the end of this round. Look how cute this is. Oh, this is gonna be such a cute little bag. Okay, now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pick a side. I'm gonna make it this side, and I'm going to find the middle of this front side. And from that middle, I'm going to count out, let's say maybe 5 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's do 4, and I'm going to stitch mark that stitch. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to do that on the other side also. Now this space is where we're going to have to create some like height in order to have a part that can fold over and attach to a little button. So that's how big that is going to be. And we're going to accomplish that over the course of, I think, 3 rounds. So for the first round, here we are finishing off that single crochet round with a slip stitch to join. Then I'm going to chain 1. I'm going to single crochet until I hit the stitch marker, and then I'm going to switch to double crochet. And that's going to make that area of the back taller. You know what? I think the stitch before the stitch marker, I'm going to do a half double crochet. So I'm going to single crochet until 1 stitch before my stitch marker. There we go. And there's 1 stitch left here before my stitch marker. I'm going to do a half double crochet there. So yarn over, insert the hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. Now in the stitch marker, from 1 stitch marker to the next one, I'm going to do double crochets. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, and 9, the last one. And then I'll do 1 half double crochet in the next stitch, and then single crochet in each stitch all the way around. Here I am at the end of the round, just putting my last single crochet in there, and then I will slip stitch to join the round, starting the next round with a chain of 1. Now, for this next round, we're doing the same thing we did for the last one. We're gonna single crochet until we hit the stitch marker. The stitch before the stitch marker here is going to be a half double crochet, and then the 9 stitches between the stitch markers will be double crochets. So I'll do a single crochet at the base of that chain 1, and then I'll single crochet until I reach the stitch before the stitch marker. Here I am at the stitch before the stitch marker. Here's our first double crochet. So here's a half double. I'm going to put a half double crochet stitch in there. And then between the 2 stitch marker points, I'll put my 9 double crochets. And after my 9 double crochets, I'll go ahead with 1 more half double crochet in that stitch after the stitch marker. And for the rest of the round, I'm going to single crochet 1 time in each stitch around. And I'm going to repeat that for the next round also. It's going to be exactly exactly the same. Single crochet whenever you're at a single crochet, half double crochet into a half double crochet, and double crochet into the double crochets. So it's exactly the same as these past 2 rounds. I'll meet you at the end of that round to show you what we're gonna do next to finish off the bag. Look how cute. Now that you've got these tall bits in the middle, it can flip over and hold like a little bag. How cute is that? Like a little saddle bag, but obviously it's smaller. So I'm finishing up this last round here, and I think I want to do a round of slip stitches on the edge of each of these stitches all the way around in order just to create a little bit of thickness, do a little finishing on the side of the bag. You know what though? I also need a buttonhole, so maybe in the middle of the 9 double crochet stitches, let me find them. There's the first one there. So this one, I need to make a buttonhole here. So I'm just gonna mark this middle stitch, and when I get to this middle stitch on my slip stitches, I will do a chain in order to create a little buttonhole. So I'm gonna just slip stitch around until I hit that stitch marker. Here we are at the stitch marker, and now in that stitch marker, I'm gonna skip the stitch marker itself. Okay, so for a tight chain, I'm going to pull my loop through so that I have a nice big loop. I'll drop my hook, and then I'll use my hands to pull that tight. We're on the stitch before the stitch marker. And now I'm going to pull the yarn through like I'm doing a chain stitch here, but when I pull it through, I'm going to pull it all the way down again, so it's tight like that. Again, I'll pull the loop, pull the working yarn through, pull it down tight. It's just a little bit more of a snug, it's a chain stitch, but it's smaller. So if you wanted to do this and you didn't want to do it the way I'm doing it, you could do this chain by using like a 3mm hook or a 2mm hook. It just changes the tightness of that chain. So I'm going to chain 10 this way. There's 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. But if you're using a different button, you just make your chain long enough so that when we reattach it to the work, the button can get in and out of that buttonhole. You know what? Now that I'm looking at that, it doesn't look wide enough. So I'm gonna add another maybe 3 chains. 1, there's 2, and there's 3. That should do it. There. And now I just need a button that will fit into that space. So now let me show you how to reattach. So where that chain ends, we'll just pull the loop down until it's a little smaller, and then we just insert the hook back in and reattach with a single crochet as though this has been the working yarn all along. So we're skipping the stitch markered stitch and the one on the other side of it. I'm going to just attach that chain with a single crochet. Nope, I'm not. With a slip stitch. We've been doing slip stitches. I'm going to attach that chain with a slip stitch, and here's how I'm gonna do it. I'm going to insert the hook into the top of that stitch, yarn over, pull through a loop, and then pull through the loop that's left on the hook. And then I'm going to continue my slip stitches all the way around until I reach the beginning of this round of slip stitches, and it's going to look so cute after this. So just slip stitch around and I'll meet you at the end of this round. All right, I've made it to my end of my slip stitch round. I'll put my last slip stitch into the last stitch there, but I'm gonna put one additional slip stitch just into the first spot where we did a slip stitch. How many times can I say slip stitch? So there we go, we've got a buttonhole now, and we've got a round of slip stitches, which when we pull this thing up, now you can see how those double crochets, when we fold that over, now we've got a little buttonhole, so I can attach a button right here to fold over the bag. But now the bag needs a strap. So I want to do a thin strap. I want to do a chain stitch strap, but I'm playing yarn chicken, so I don't actually know how much yarn I have right now, like how far this will go. What I'm gonna start with is I'm gonna just make a long chain. I'm gonna make a chain that is as long as I can manage. I'm gonna try and use like half of the yarn and just make a chain to see how long I can get. So you might need to make yours 200 chain stitches long if you're trying to make this also, but I'm just gonna go until it feels long enough. Okay, I'm looking at this chain and I feel like it looks too thick. I want it to be like a really thin chain. So I think I'm gonna do the same thing I did with the buttonhole for this whole chain. I think it's gonna look better. I think it's gonna look more like a finished project in my head. So I'm going to pull back my entire chain and then I'm going to redo it, but I'm gonna redo it the tight way where I pull down each and every stitch as tight as it'll go in order to make it a nice thin, tight chain. So I'm gonna go through that now and I'll meet you when I finish it. All right, so I've just finished about 4 feet of this tight chain, and now I'm going to reattach it down on the opposite side. So it's coming up here, and I'm gonna reattach it down here, and I'll just sort of eyeball roughly where it looks good, and I'll do that by inserting my hook, picking up the last loop, and pulling it down. And then I'll just pull that loop through, and we're gonna slip stitch across the front of the work here. So I'm gonna take my working loop, pull it through that stitch, chain 1, and then I'm gonna just slip stitch across the front of the work until I get back to the beginning of our long chain. And the next step is going to be putting on a button, and I think that's actually the last step. So let me just zip through these slip stitches and I will see you when it's time to attach them. All right, I made it back. So I'm going to put one last slip stitch in here to join back to the front, and then I will cut my yarn and I'm gonna pull that through and weave in the end. I'm gonna take a second here before we put our button on to weave in all of the ends. There's 3 ends here that need weaving in. So I'm gonna do that, and then it will be time to put on the button. All right, so this is now the crochet part is finished. We're gonna turn this inside out now though, because we've got that seam on the outside. We're gonna put that inside out so that the seam disappears and is on the inside of our little bag. Then I'm just gonna stretch everything out to keep that nice and even, keep the seam looking good, and then we'll make sure that we've got it nice and flat. So now I'm going to stretch out my buttonhole section and then fold it over onto the bag to determine where the button should go. And I think I want to put it on the single crochet portion. So I think I want to put the button right here. And that way this will fold over, but not too far so that it won't, like, I don't want it to be like way down here because then it'll be affecting my straps. And I want something tall to be able to go in here. So I think right in the center here is going to be perfect. So I got some thread because the yarn is a little too thick for this job. And I'm going to just double up some thread onto another yarn needle. I'll insert the thread and then I'll get a nice long piece doubled over. And we're gonna stitch down that button. I thought this was just going to be a 10-minute tutorial for how to make a circle, and now I'm sewing a button onto a bag. All right, so I want my button about here. Let me zoom you in. So I know I want my button about here. So I'm going to just insert my yarn here, insert my needle rather, through these middle stitches there, and I'm gonna just tie a knot to start my thread in a nice secure way. This will be hidden underneath the button anyway, so not really worried about it being ugly. There we go. And then I'll come up through the bottom of the button. Actually, I think I want it to sit this way. I like it better that way. So I'm going to come up through the bottom of the button, or what I'm calling the bottom, and then I'm gonna come back down across from it, pull that down, and then I'll just kind of put it in the location that I want. And then I can just insert the needle down through the crochet work, and then back up through the crochet work a little ways away, and then back down. Can pull it all the way through the work. It's fine. It's barely going to be noticeable. And I'm just going to continue these stitches just up and down, crisscrossing over itself until the button feels really secure, which is probably going to take a couple of minutes just because I'm not very quick at this. All right, I finished getting the button on, just weaved in that end a little bit, and I can trim it, and now we can test that buttonhole. Perfect. Come on, that's pretty cute. That's a good idea for like a Ren fair. Okay, let's jump into the final discussion. Ta-da! It's finished! What do you think? This turned out so cute. I like when the top has like a little bit of room here. This is so cute. This would be perfect for a Ren fair. If you did this in like twine or jute cord or like linen yarn or even cotton, but maybe not purple, this is such a cute little satchel. You could add a drawstring if you wanted to so that it closes up tight, kind of like an old-timey bag of money. But I think that the button is gonna work perfectly for me. This is about the size to fit a phone. The whole measurement of the height of this thing is, oh, for sure it'll fit a phone, 7 inches tall by about 5.5 inches wide at the widest point. This is so cute. I love the tight crochet chain stitch for the handle. You could definitely do this in single crochet if you wanted to, or you could attach a fabric strap, but I really like it as a thin crochet. I feel like it gives all the attention to that circle. And what do you think of that granny circle? I know that's what I thought this tutorial was gonna be for, just for the circle, but it ended up turning into a whole project of its own. That granny square circle is awesome though. I think I wanna make something else with it, like pockets. I feel like that circle shape would be perfect for pockets. You could just fold it in half and then you have a half moon pocket. Beautiful. So let me know what you think in the comments down below. If you liked this one, don't forget to click the thumbs up button on the video. It really helps the channel grow. And I mean, I think it turned out really good. So I I think that's a good reason for you to like it. Thank you so much to everyone who's supporting the channel this month. Here is our list of channel supporters. You guys are awesome. I appreciate you. If you want to join and become a supporter as well, check the links in the description box down below. All the ways you can do so will be linked there. But that's all I've got for you today. I really hope you enjoyed this one, and I hope you give it a shot. I think this is actually like a really cute bag to carry around in the summer. I think I need to make another one in like plain linen or natural dye. Maybe we'll do natural dye. Okay, anyway, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time. Love you. Bye.